Whether you're raising chickens in your suburban backyard or have a sugar glider eating kiwis in your bedroom, it's complicated to care for the less common household pets. You can't just call up a friend for tips like the dog and cat owners of the world.
Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
One animal-loving Canadian couple thought they had a wealth of knowledge on weird pets, as they owned a slew of furry friends. But when they took in a sweet micro-pig, they soon realized they were in over their heads. They weren't prepared for this squealing surprise. Steve Jenkins and his husband, Derek Walter, enjoyed a wholesome life in Ontario, Canada. They both worked from home, Steve a real estate agent with an appreciation for bagpipes, and Derek a professional magician. To make their ranch-style house a home, they kept several animals. The two filled their 3-bedroom home with 3 cats, 2 dogs, and 2 turtles, and even hosted a little koi pond in their quaint backyard. See, both Steve and Derek had a history of loving animals all their lives. Derek, the magician, grew up with cats, dogs, and a bunny. He said that it seemed like a magic show wasn't complete without a rabbit. And Steve, too, had a childhood cluttered with furry friends, and even once dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. Back in the day, Derek booked a magic gig at Montana's Cookhouse restaurant, where Steve was an overworked waiter. The stars aligned that night, and they instantly bonded over their adoration for the animal kingdom. And while lazily surfing Facebook one day, Steve stumbled upon an acquaintance's status that boasted an animal adoption opportunity. Steve immediately perked up. She was offering up a 5-pound micro-pig that she couldn't care for, considering she had recently given birth to twins. "Yes, of course, I'm interested, I love animals," Steve automatically exclaimed. He imagined that the little porker would behave like a third, much pinker dog. Her status detailed that the miniature hog would grow to be no bigger than 70 pounds. Though Steve was excited, he knew the adoption would be a risky endeavor. Owning a micro-pig was illegal in their tiny community of Georgetown. Also, he didn't have time to discuss it with Derek. He'd have to pick up the pig that very day if he was serious. Steve made the impulsive decision to take the pig in, before consulting with his spouse. Steve's acquaintance hand-delivered the tiny piglet in a laundry basket, swaddled in a blanket. It was literally a pig in a blanket. The baby was just 12 inches long and seemed a bit malnourished, but that didn't stifle the micro-pig's energetic personality. And when Steve nervously unveiled the fuzzy piglet to his husband, he was less than pleased. After getting to know the innocent swine, Derek couldn't help but love her. Anybody that has a bleeding heart loves baby animals. "You can't help but fall in love," Steve said. Together, the couple declared her Esther. Esther soon became comfortable, playing with the cats and dogs, and even using a litter box, if you can believe it. But the couple quickly became aware of how much Esther ate. She gobbled nearly a pound of food a day. The couple fed her standard pig food, along with cucumbers and tomatoes, but they'd sometimes have to give her people food when they ran low on Esther's regular food. They were overwhelmed and confused. But that was only the first sign that something was off. They noticed that Esther's tail was clipped, along with scars that hinted she was spayed. It was all too peculiar. Esther didn't seem like the same kind of micro-pig Miley Cyrus flaunted on Instagram. Was it possible that Esther was a commercial pig? Steve and Derek speculated further when Esther grew to be a whopping 60 pounds in the first few months of her life. It was time to take a trip to the vet. The vet relayed that said that a breeder wouldn't have cut a pig's tail. "He told me, I'm pretty sure you're dealing with a commercial pig here," Steve explained. They had their fingers crossed though, simply hoping Esther was a rare large micro-pig. The oinker grew fast, eventually weighing an astonishing 250 pounds. By that point the couple had already fallen in love with Esther and all of her quirks. There was nothing micro about her. Out of respect for their beloved pet pig, Steve and Derek even stopped eating bacon. The couple loved playing with their new family member, who would chase a ball around with surprisingly wild energy. She'd get everything out of that ball, whereas the dogs would get bored of it, he detailed. Steve and Derek even caught on to how clever Esther was. They weren't wrong. According to PBS, pigs are smarter than any other domestic animal. Esther made us think they're not really that different at all. "They're only different because we see them differently," Steve explained. The couple looked at commercial farm animals in a whole new light. They aren't just meat to be slaughtered, they're intelligent and emotional beings. And as much as they adored their own Porky Pig, she was outgrowing their small ranch-turned-farmhouse. Esther was growing faster than expected, which forced Steve and Derek to check out local animal sanctuaries, praying that one would take in Esther. Nothing panned out, and there was no way they were going to send Esther to a commercial farm, only for her to be cooked into a pork chop skillet dinner. Despite the fact that she weighed in at 420 pounds at just 18 months old, the couple resorted to keeping Esther. In December 2013, the couple made Esther a Facebook page, where she soon became an internet sensation. After garnering 250,000 loyal followers, it hit Steve and Derek that they were essentially broadcasting their illegal pet ownership. "We were flaunting the fact we were breaking the law. She was 450 pounds, and we splashed her all over social media," Steve said. Not only did they own a banned animal, but the sweet hog needed more room. The couple had a new plan. They set out to be homey, rustic farm owners so they could grant Esther with more space, care for her in a legal fashion, and host more rescue animals. They stumbled upon a gorgeous 50-acre farm, which costed an excruciating $1 million. They'd be able to pay for it on their own when pigs fly. But thanks to Esther's hundreds of thousands of followers, people were more than willing to donate for the cause. The couple crowdfunded online, hoping to raise $400,000. It was a hefty amount. But in just 2 months, the crowdfunding page collected $440,000 from over 9,000 people in 44 countries. The overwhelming generosity touched the couple's hearts. "It was so much bigger than anything we'd ever thought of. It was a phenomenally overwhelming moment," Steve gushed. The farm they thought would be just a loophole in the system flourished into a beautiful animal sanctuary, not to mention a business. They gleefully named it Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary, obviously after their micro-pig. Steve and Derek met with animal experts to ensure they were providing the residents with the appropriate environment and food. Soon enough, the sanctuary was crawling with horses, a cow, goats, and a pregnant pig. And no, Esther wasn't the pregnant pig. The couple even expanded their already impressive social media presence, accumulating 10 social media accounts. The two hubbies even made the sustainable and progressive decision to go vegan. Esther changed their quality of life in so many ways. The sanctuary offers tours, sells adorable Esther-themed apparel, and has 3 full-time employees and approximately 40 volunteers to guarantee that the farm runs smoothly. "We want to level the playing field between animals we see as companions versus those we see as products," Steve elucidated. But some people still believe outdated misconceptions about pigs. They are a symbol of gluttony after all. Derek mentioned that a contractor once visited their home and was downright shocked that Esther didn't smell of feces and God knows what else. Esther even has her own book, as, in 2016, Steve and Derek wrote their tale of what it's like to watch a tiny 5-pound piglet transform into a beautiful 650-pound pig and all of the shenanigans that come with it. This only earned Esther and the couple more fans. Esther's main Instagram page has amassed more than 600,000 followers, some of whom are A-listers. The Dixie Chicks, Queer Eye's Antoni Porowski, and climate change activist Greta Thunberg have all visited Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary, and comedian Ricky Gervais even donated $25 to the sanctuary. Esther remains the sanctuary's headliner, bringing joy to people both in person and virtually. And the couple uses her positive influence to change people's minds about farm animals, not to mention veganism as a whole. Steve believes that the word vegan has a negative connotation attached to it. "We're promoting Esther because we want people to build a relationship with her, and we hope that opens a door and makes them start questioning everything else," Steve raved. The couple even started deeming vegan recipes Esther-approved recipes. It has a nice ring to it. Ever since Steve saw that cheeky Facebook post about a homeless micro-pig, Esther has upended the couple's lives in the best possible ways. She's become a social media star, the poster child for warm-hearted veganism, the occasional magician's assistant, and a beloved family member. Esther may as well be a magical flying pig. But other farm animals need a little more help. Don't forget us. Pet us as an animal sanctuary in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and for a long time, it was the home of a young cow named Baby. But Baby, too, had a secret. See, Baby was blind. Luckily for her, the sanctuary's owner, Deb Devlin, went above and beyond to give Baby the round-the-clock care she required. While Baby was generally content, something wasn't quite right with her. The staff was at a loss. Was she lonely? There weren't any other cows for her to befriend at the sanctuary, after all. As time went by and Baby continued to mope around the farm, the staff grew desperate. Then, they had a revelation. What if they introduced Baby to another animal entirely? Enter Lulu the pig, whose legs were accidentally broken by her mother when she was just a piglet. Though Lulu and Baby were different species, they both had special needs. The staff was willing to bet their unique experiences gave them a gentleness and intuition that would mesh well. Not only did Baby and Lulu both have disabilities, but they had similar backgrounds, too. Having been rescued from slaughterhouses in the United States, they seemed to share a similar demeanor. There was only one way to tell if they'd become friends: have them meet. Much to the staff's delight, Baby and Lulu immediately bonded. I had tried to pair Baby up with other animals, and it just didn't work, one of the caretakers explained. I didn't think the pig would be aggressive to the cow, and the pig was plenty sturdy. If the cow accidentally bumped into her, Lulu would be okay, Deb also explained. She and the rest of her staff kept their fingers crossed that this unlikely friendship would work out. For the next 8 years, Lulu and Baby would form a tight bond. The staff often referred to Lulu as Baby's seeing eye pig. During that time, they were rarely separated and they displayed a friendship that astounded everyone who worked at the sanctuary. While many of the other animals at the facility had free range to go and do as they please, Lulu and Baby were different. They had to learn to have fun much closer to home than the other animals due to their respective disabilities. Luckily for them, that wasn't an issue. Baby and Lulu did practically everything together. Even mealtime wasn't just a routine activity, it was a chance to chow down with a friend. Thanks to Lulu, Baby's blindness wasn't as much of an issue. Sadly, after 8 years together, Lulu's time on Earth had come to an end. After her passing, Baby the cow was once again left in the dark without her seeing eye pig. What was she going to do without her best friend to help her get around? Baby's demeanor changed almost instantly. After Lulu's passing, Baby mooed for 2 days. She also walked in circles frantically, Deb recalled. She was unable to walk straight or she would hit fencing. I tried to pair her with a sheep, a goat, but nothing worked at all. Growing worried, Deb attempted to have Baby mingle with various other animals, but nothing seemed to be able to replace her lost friend. Yet, just when all hope seemed lost, another rescued animal arrived at the sanctuary. It was a baby calf. The sanctuary staff hoped to get the 2 animals acquainted immediately. The day the calf arrived, I had set up 2 small areas divided by an 8-foot gate. I was hoping to acclimate the 2 side by side first, Deb explained. Deb hoped the animals would become used to being around one another. Baby could get used to her noises, movement, smell, sounds. She was so in tune to those things, not having her sight. Deb was anxious, but she was about to learn that she didn't have to be. When the calf unloaded into her small pen, she was nervous and timid. She quickly saw Baby and she blasted that gate off its hinges. Deb recalled. It was still secured on one side by a chain, so she jumped the 4-foot width of the gate and ran to Baby's side. And just like that, Baby's spirits were up. The spunky new arrival, who'd escaped a slaughterhouse just like Baby, took one look at Baby before she set off like a rocket for the cow. Any worry they wouldn't get along was immediately tossed aside. Of course, no animal could replace Lulu. Still, Baby took the little calf under her wing, so to speak, protecting her and doing all of the things that Lulu once did for her. It was as if she was the little cow's official tour guide. The bond was immediate, the love instant, and even though Baby has never had a baby, she takes care of, protects and nurtures this little calf, all the things Lulu did for her. It is so incredible, Deb said happily. Now, the rescued cows could recover together. While Baby's friendship with Lulu was truly one of a kind, it seemed as if she found a way to continue that with her new friend. Of course, she would always have her beloved Lulu in her heart. After all, pigs make the best of friends.